Welcome to episode 68 of the Rebel Army podcast, the official podcast of Cork City Football Club. And this week we have Kate O'Donovan previewing the new women's season. Back with the podcast. The haircut is on a pause after the other night.
The 5 in a row is off. Yeah.
We'll have to start.
We'll restart.
Restart it.
We'll restart.
There'll be enough games anyway.
Don't want to break the illusion, but I think I got a haircut Friday morning anyway. But look, we'll say nothing.
But they can't see it. You're giving away.
I have a hat on today anyway.
Yeah. Good away crowd down there.
Yeah, really good crowd, good atmosphere as well.
Yeah.
Not overly thrilling with the result, but
we got off to a good start again. That seems to be a bit of a trend. But it kind of died off after that, didn't it? It kind of, I know we had a few chances that we should have probably scored, but you know, you think when Shawnee get the goal after 11 minutes or something?
Yeah, it was
like
early. Brilliant ball in from Killian to set it up as well, wasn't it?
You know, is that about his third assist or something? Maybe second
it could
or third
be,
assist. Yeah, he's close
definitely
enough anyway. You think they're going to push on at that point then, but I think in fairness to Cove, they probably came back into the game a bit in the second half as well.
Yeah, they did. I think probably based on how the day was, 1-1 was probably fair enough.
Yeah. The pitch looked like it was kind of cutting up a bit too, which is unusual because it is a 3G pitch or 4G pitch or whatever.
I suppose it's the league. Yeah, it's the first time I'm playing a league game on Astro this year. A couple of AstroTurf pitches in the league as well, so we're going to be on it a bit this season.
It's the nature of, I suppose, some of the clubs around the country, their only way to survive and train and all that is to have kind of those type of pitches nowadays, isn't it? Because they'd have them multi-purpose. Not just
but they're training on it and everything.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of clubs in the same
everything
boat.
is done there, Whereas, in fairness to the lads in the cross, the pitch is immaculate considering the amount of rain that we've had. Yeah. I'm sure anyone there, we're all guilty of watching matches across the water and further afield, and you see some of the state of the pitches in the FA Cup anyway.
FA Cup ties, when there's a lower league pitch involved.
Or something,
But for the most part, across the League of Ireland, the grass pitches are very well maintained and very well kept.
So fair play to the groundsmen around the place. They're doing a good job.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I suppose 1-1, still top of the table.
Still top, still unbeaten.
Still unbeaten, so that's the main thing. And leading into another game at the Cross on Friday night, but it's a double header this week, which is even better. Yeah,
we mentioned it last week how the women's season was kicking off this week, and we wanted to do a bit of a special feature on it for the start of the season. So what better way than to get Kate O'Donovan in, who was with us for a while, left for a while, and now is back and raring to go. So
yeah, let's get her in. Welcome to the podcast, Kate.
Thank you very much for having me.
Welcome back to Cork City too, I think.
Yeah, I'm back now. I think I left in 2023, so it's good to be back.
So small, kind of like a little visit away from the homestead and back again into
I did an Erasmus in Limerick. So
an Erasmus, it's a nice way to look at it. Yeah. Going back to the early days of, obviously, your sister was involved in football. She was a coach. Did that kind of lead to you to get into the game as well?
Yeah, so the two of us, from the coaching, obviously, that had an impact too. But the two of us would have played a lot together in the garden when we were younger. And then that kind of got me into it because I initially wasn't into it at all. Her and my dad were big into it. And then they kind of used to drag me along.
And were they going to matches and things like that?
Yeah, so my aunt used to actually play for Bandon. She was goalkeeper, and it was a very successful Bandon team. I think they won about 10 leagues on the trot. And then I started getting dragged along, and then I'd go into training, and I didn't really like it then. And then I kind of fell in love with it. And then as I went on, then obviously Anya's had an impact. All right, now I won't give her too much credit now because
she'll be listening to this.
Yeah, the ego, the head, she wouldn't fit through the door. But she's obviously had an impact. And
is there much of an age gap between you?
2 years, so Anya's older. It's very important to clarify that
important.
now. Yeah, she'll be 30 this year now. So
no, you said that, no, not me.
Yeah, she's pushing on, So us being, I suppose, close in age as well, is probably made the impact of when we were playing together when we were younger, and then being dragged along, that type of thing. So it's definitely helped. And
were you in one of the kind of first academy teams with Cork City?
Yeah, I was actually the first one to be signed up. So I was already in training with the seniors, with Charlie Lynch. He was my Gaynor Cup manager. And the year after Gaynor, there was nothing at the time for anyone that was kind of my age, just after under 16.
So what were you, about 15 or something at that
Yeah,
time?
I was about 15, 16. And we were dropping on up to training for coaching with Charlie. And Charlie was like, next time now, bring your gear, like, come on, you know. And so it started with one night, and then it'd be 2 nights, and then sure, at the end of the season I was there every night. And I even actually went on a bus journey. I was supposed to be going up to Peamount just to see what it was like with the team, like what an away journey was supposed to be like in preparation of signing the following year and everything. We only made it to Mitchelstown and the game got called off, so we didn't get too far. But that pathway was kind of prepped for me. But as that year went on, Charlie had set up the academy, so he'd obviously asked me to sign in the academy, like with the hope of the following year going to the seniors. And so I was the first one. So the pictures that were done, it was only me that was there for the pictures and stuff.
It's nice though.
Yeah.
Somebody has to be first.
Exactly, yeah. So I was the first one in, and then a lot of my buddies kind of came in then. There was about 15 or 16 of us, and then...
Would there been a good few from Bandon as well at the time?
There would have been a few of us, like not just from Bandon, actually West Cork. There was a few of the girls, like Drimoleague and stuff like that. So some of the girls were coming like a fierce trek. And then there was 1 or 2 from Tip started coming in as well at the time too. So like people were travelling like a good distance, because there wasn't much, especially in Munster at the time, for people like of that age group. There wasn't a lot. It was kind of like you did Gaynor Cup, and there was kind of nothing, and then you'd wait a few years to maybe sign like a senior club, but there was not much. So I think people saw it as an opportunity just to get in another session or 2, and then the academy got stronger. The year I went out of the academy then, and then of course they went over to Swansea on a trip, and sure I missed out on that. I was in with the seniors, so I didn't get to go, but like, so it's grown. And then even to see it now, like you have your 17s and now the development squad, and then there's obviously the pre-academies and stuff like that. So,
and when you were like 50, around that age, like 15, 16, would there have been a team in school as well?
Yeah, so I would have been playing with like school and like my club Bandon, but then there was no, like, they were starting to bring in the interleague under 18 and stuff like that, but you were kind of done at like the higher level, like, you know, you just played Gaynor Cup and stuff like that, and it was kind of like there wasn't much then.
So a lot of girls would have dropped out, I'd imagine.
Oh, like point. A load, like, and that's the thing, like, I think a lot of people in my age group did drop out because of it. Like, some were like, there's still people my age still in the league and stuff, don't get me wrong, but I think the amount of people that were probably missed because of, like, especially when Gaelic football was like probably thriving and stuff like that.
So they probably went to there instead. Yeah.
So that's
or
the thing.
Camogie or something like that.
Yeah, and Gaelic football, like the footballers and the Camogie team were both very successful at the time. So there was a pathway there for them as well. So you'd probably go doing something, there's a pathway for you, and B, like that there was a lot of success. Whereas there was nothing really in soccer at the time, like bar playing senior, but like that's a huge gap when you're like just 16. Like, you know, not everyone's ready straight away. Like, so the amount of people then you would lose was, you know, crazy thinking about it now. Like,
yeah, because the game has changed a lot for the better, I'd imagine, and there's way more girls that age now involved in the game, and I think it's only going to grow in many ways.
Yeah, like especially now, like we've got obviously like, you know, 17s and 23s, as I said, but then like you still have the Cork League, so you still have like there's still more teams that like you can still play at high level, and then you can still play for your club. Like there's lots of different levels now, and like there's teams so close to you now, like as well, like that helps like big time, because you don't want to be travelling. Imagine if your club team's like an hour away from you, like, you know, you don't want to be travelling that far
when it impacts on schoolwork then and all that, and it's not maybe you kind of just, you don't know whether you could make it all the way to the League of Ireland or whatever. You're thinking, would I even bother, you know, and you'll start pulling out.
Exactly.
Whereas if they're only 5 minutes down the road, it's going to be much easier.
Exactly. And even like parents trying to drive you and stuff like that, and then like there could be a few siblings as well, like you can't just drop everything for one. So like I think the fact that there is more teams and there's more pathways, and you can see the pathways now, like back for me, way back, you know, in the dinosaurs, like, you know, there wasn't really, like, you couldn't see much. You were hoping that it would be in place for you, but it wasn't definite. Whereas now there is, like, if you put the work in, there is pathways there for you now, which is great. Like,
so you were 16, then kind of 17 around that time, when I suppose the famous year of Cork City, like in many ways, the women's team getting into the FAI Cup final and winning it. I mean, it was kind of a surprise at the time, I think, for a lot of people. It was an amazing achievement.
Yeah, so I was 17 when I signed, so then by the time the cup final came around, I was 19, so I think I was like the third or fourth youngest on the team. And it was a huge shock. Like, we'd started to pick up a few results in the league, just kind of coming up to the semi-final. We'd beaten Peamount at home, like a Peamount team that had like the likes of Amber Barrett in it. Which would have been a surprise as well, because I think they were going for the league that year, and so beat them and then beat Wexford away, who ended up winning the league that year, and then like you have the Aviva then, and we'd never beaten UCD, like that. We were never close to beating UCD. You know, like the results like we'd had against them was 4-1, 5-0. Like, so it was a massive shock. But I just think we knew what we were doing. Like, every player knew their role on the day. And like, when you had the quality of like Claire Shine, Katie McCarthy, Saoirse Noonan, like, we just needed one chance. And
that's all you needed.
Yeah, and it worked for us in the day. And yeah, one of the best days, I think, for us, for the women's section of the club anyway, and for us as individuals as well. Like,
and of course, then the men's team won the cup as well at the time. So then you had the two. Like, I'm not sure if it has been done in recent years. I can't remember it. It's quite a rare thing to happen that the two trophies were down this part of the world. But I think it said a lot for your probably team spirit at the time as well, to kind of overcome like a lot bigger teams.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, just like some of the players that we were playing against, like even that day now against UCD, like I was playing in midfield, like with Megan Burke, and we're up against the likes of Chloe Mustaki. Like, look at the career she's gone on to have, that she was having at the time, and it's gone on to have now. Like, that's the kind of caliber of player. But it just, I suppose, kind of just shows you, like, if you can pull together, like, if we all knew what we needed to do, we all knew what we wanted to do in the day, we wanted to win. And like, sometimes you just have to, win ugly. I remember Carl saying it at the time, like, no one's going to remember how you win. They're just going to remember if you win. And I think that was big for us. Like, that was, the Aviva as well, a huge pitch. So like, it's the week before we played Wexford and Bishopstown, they actually made the dimensions of the pitch the same as the Aviva. Oh my God, I thought I was going to have to get an ambulance coming up. But it was great for FBI. Yeah. Oh, it's a huge difference. Like, but
it's interesting because only last week, Cara Ward had actually shortened the pitch, and she against the French.
Yeah.
Like, so she did the opposite, like, made it smaller and taller, like, you know what I mean? People forget actually distance is a big thing, like on football pitches, if you're used to a certain size.
Yeah, it's the thing, like, because back then I wouldn't have minded it being shortened, but a few years later we went up to the Markets Field, different style of play, and we played, I think it was Limerick FC at the time in the Markets Field, and they actually made the pitch shorter as well, but they'd gone to the real extreme of you were nearly on the sideline at the edge of the box, that type of thing. There is a bit of that going on, but I don't think anyone was going to shorten the pitch for us that day. But it does make a difference, and especially the style of play that you're playing. Like, if you want to play up in the back and play like, really like free flowing football, the shorter pitch obviously isn't as good for that. But if you're trying to stop that, and like we were at that time, like, that the shorter pitch would have been a lot handier for sure.
Was there pressure after that then, after winning the FA Cup, to kind of push on? Like, did you find that there was like this kind of spotlight put on you all of a sudden?
Yeah, I think to be fair, we had a big spotlight in a way of, like, I think, the people of Cork, they really came out and supported us. And I don't think, like, we were probably expecting it as much as what had happened. But it was all in a good way. Like, it was good, and we kind of put more pressure on ourselves in a way of, like, trying to raise our own standards then. And even like that year then, I think we brought in like Savannah McCarthy and stuff like that. Does that happen if we don't win the cup final the year before? Those things, like, so in a way it probably did, but it was probably for the better, because it drives you on a bit as a player, like, that way.
So you stayed with the club up until about 2023?
July, I think, of 2023, window,
You went through one or two coaches at that during that period of time?
Yeah, I went through a good few, I went through a lot before I'd left, and then obviously now Barry's in, but yeah, it's you go from one style to the next, and sometimes...
Is that hard to adjust to?
Yeah, it can be. Like, sometimes the styles are similar. So, like, when we went from Ronan to Paul, it was similar, it was just tweaks. But then, like, sometimes then from Paul to Danny, it was a lot different then. And, sometimes then there is the bad days, because, like, you're not used to that style, and when it goes wrong, it can go really wrong, like, But now I think with Barry now, like, we know our style of play. Like, it couldn't be any clearer. Like, Barry's made it clear, and there's no kind of,
there's no grey area, really.
No, there's none whatsoever. Like, it's a clear style, which is great. So, like, we know it. But yeah, like, when we were kind of hopping between a few managers, then, like, it's different style, and then you have to try and suit the players that you have and stuff like that. So it's a bit trickier. But now, like, that, look, we seem to have a bit of a period now of where, like, we're settling in. It's just like, it's going to be Barry. We know it's going to be Barry, and we're going to work on this style. And I think that's a really positive step forward for sure.
Was it hard to leave in 2023?
Yeah, it was. At the time, like, I wasn't playing a lot, so in a way, I wasn't really playing at all, to be honest.
So you wanted first team appearances?
Yeah, so it shouldn't have been difficult. But then, like, Cork City's club I grew up supporting, I was his first ever academy player. You're weighing all these things up, and I kind of one day I went to myself, I have to ignore that. I have to look at what's best for me. For the first time probably in my league of Ireland career, I had to go, what's actually best for me now? I'm not playing. I've lost that spark. I'm not enjoying it. Like I'm not, like I'm a shadow of myself. Like, so then I had to go, right, I do need to leave. And it was still tough. And like, I remember telling the girls at training and there was tears, and there's some of the girls are still here. Like there was a lot of tears for me, like, but it's probably saved my League of Ireland career. I don't think I'd be sitting here now talking to you if I didn't leave back then.
Would you think you would have pulled out eventually? You got frustrated with it?
Yeah, like even at the time, like I found it very hard to even go on social media and look at, like, you know, the results go up, like LOI, TV, whatever, everything goes up. I used to find the weekend hard then because I'd hate looking at. I was like, how do all these people enjoy it? And I can't. So leaving was great for me because I got to play and get that spark back.
Yeah.
And now I'm back and I had spark again and just still here, and I'm like, I can't wait to get stuck in again. But if I didn't leave, I don't know. I think I'd be done playing. Like, I think that would have been me.
Yeah, because the time with Treaty so kind of changed. Because it's a big commitment to go from Cork. Like you work in Cork and you're travelling up. How many days a week were you training?
Yeah, so in the 2024 season, I'd actually go Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and then up for a game on a Saturday as well. Well, depending. So yeah, so I was up a lot, but I loved it. Like, especially that year, I loved it so much. So I didn't see it as, everyone was like, you're mad. Like, what are you doing? Like, asked to come up less. And I was like, why? Like, I'm loving it. Like, you know.
But you got back on the pitch.
Yeah, because I got back on the pitch. I felt like it was me again. And, you know, I really enjoyed the group. The girls were really good to me. I got on, Dom Foley was the manager. So I got on really well with Dom. And I really, really enjoyed it. Whereas last year then, it was tough for me off the pitch. You know, like, we lost my granddad and stuff like that. So it was hard going up. Pre-season he was sick, so I was travelling on my own instead of travelling with Katie Irwin and myself. We used to carpool, so I was travelling on my own quite a lot and all these different things. So like, that's a factor. So I was like, the 2 or 3 nights instead that I was going up last year, that was a lot tougher. Even though the group was lovely still and the coaching staff was great to me, it was still harder to go up.
The trek was longer.
Yeah, and I felt
if you're going through tough times away from the pitch, you have too much time to think probably in a. What would it take, an hour and a half?
Yeah, about an hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes as well, like, because you're talking about the traffic. Yeah, and then you stop. Like, I'd have to stop. I don't know, maybe I'm just a bit old, but I'd have to stop and walk around just because I'd need to stretch the legs and stuff like that. So we
need a coffee to keep yourself awake.
Yeah, coffee as well. I was up to about 4 coffees there at the end, so I think I've cut down my caffeine intake, which is no harm, I'd say. So yeah, so that's no harm. It's probably saving me a bit of money as well, to be fair.
And did you get a phone call so from Barry? How did it come about?
Yeah, so Barry got announced, and I'd say it was probably about the week before the final game of the season. And obviously at this stage I was wrecked, and I was half thinking about it anyway, and I seen Barry got announced. And I actually went to a good few of the 19s games last year because of Anya being on Barry's staff. So I'd seen the style of play, I'd seen Barry in action, you could say, like, and I kind of thought to myself when he got announced, like, I'd like to go back. And I said to Anya, I said, can you let Barry know next week, like when the season's over, like that
I'm around
I'd be interested in a phone call, like, because, you know, like, he might want you, like, I left, I decided to leave, like, it's not like,
and he might have his own plans as well.
Exactly, like, so I said, look, that I'd be interested, and sure, Barry got on to me, and we had a good chat on the phone. So I was very confident that he was going to sign me then, and then he's like, we'll meet next week for a cup of tea. Barry loves his cup of tea, and then he got caught up the following week, and I was like, oh God, it's not happening. Oh, what have I done? And then he texted me and he's like, Aine is really looking forward to having you back. I was like, oh, it's done. So I didn't know. So we met up for that cup of tea, and he went through all the plans in more detail then. And like, yeah, when I like saw and heard what he wanted to do, like, and seen as well, I think me seeing the 19s as well last year was great, because I knew what he was telling me was what I saw last year with the 19s as well.
And when you say style, like, how would you define it?
I think we're going to be incredibly, like, we're going to be one of the most hardworking teams in the league. We're going to give each other a dig out. Like, you know, if I'm going through a rough patch on the pitch, like, my buddy next to me is going to give me a dig out.
We're going to together.
Yeah, we're going to be really disciplined.
Kind of going back to maybe what happened in 2017, that kind of, the dressing room comes together, no matter what, we don't care who we're up against, we'll give them a good go.
Exactly, like, and then as well, on top of those things, like, we have the quality, so when we go forward, then, like, we're like, we have the likes of Eva Mangan, Ellie, Stella, Nadine, Sophie, like, we've got quality players, like, both ends of the pitch, but in particular, like, in the attacking end, like, so it's going to be, when we get into the final third, like, it's going to be a joy to watch, but it's also going to be a joy to watch, like, the defensive side of things, like the hard work, the headers, the tackles, the blocks, like, Ciara Driscoll's had a fantastic pre-season. Zoe has possibly been our best player in pre-season. Like, she's been top class. So I think it's going to be a clear style. Like, it's a lot of hard work and something similar to what you've probably seen in 2017. But a really unified group. Like, I was a bit nervous coming back in because, you don't know how people are going to be, but oh God, there was nothing to be nervous about. I shouldn't have been, because the group's just been so welcoming to me and then the other new girls as well. Like, so we've got a good group, and
the squad has really been refreshed kind of for the season, hasn't it?
It has been. And do you know what? Like, obviously the club's been through a tough time in the last few years, but there's something about the wounded animal. Like, people in this dressing room know what it feels like now to be down the bottom, and like, you don't want to do that again. So like, we have people that are like, no, we're not doing that again. Like,
Barry's very
done.
determined not to be there.
Yeah, and it's not like it's Barry and it's coming from Barry, but it's also coming from us as a group. And it's like, when we were in the group, you can see like we're not having that again, and like, we're stopping it. Now is the time, and we get the chance now to do that, to actually go, that's not happening, and that's done with, like, and we get to go and show people as well. Like, so it's exciting then to be part of something where you're all like, we all know what we want from the season. It's so clear, and like, it's exciting then to be a part of the group then.
And like, I suppose, how do you feel being one of the senior players now? Because you were the first academy player, but now you're seeing all these academy players coming into the team. You have a different responsibility now in many ways.
Yeah, I believe I'm the oldest at the moment.
Are you the oldest?
Yeah, I didn't take that too well. But no, I do enjoy it. I've probably been like kind of an older head on young shoulders for a long time. I remember Ronan Collins kind of pulling me aside one day after training, kind of going like, "You're one of the more senior players here now," and I was like 21. Do you know that way? Like, and I've kind of loved it since. And then like, I love looking out for the younger girls, because I had people in the dressing room that looked out for me when I was like that age. And like, when I first came in, I didn't play for like, I think 3 or 4 months. Like, might have made the squads and stuff like that. And I had people looking out for me going, it's okay to be disappointed. Like, you should be disappointed. And I'd be like, oh, no, it's fine. Like, I'm fine. And they're like, no, it's okay. But then go and show it in training, and they'd help me. They'd work and extra stuff with me. They'd help me with my homework even, and like, looked out for me. So I always told myself back then, if I get the chance to be the senior player, I want to act like that. I want to help the younger players settle in. And like, our younger players as well, like, they're a breath of fresh air. Like, they're honestly like, they're so energetic. They're so positive. They want to learn, like, and they want to do the extras. So like, it's not that I don't have to do much. Like, everyone has to do their bit, but like, they're so easy to give guidance to and stuff like that. And Fenting, like, you learn off them as well, like, with the way they train and stuff like that. So like, it's it's great for me, but it's great for them as well, like, to be in this environment now when we're changing things like that. So
yeah, and obviously Barry has experience of working with a lot of the younger girls with the under-19s, but also being in the school environment and stuff like that. So I think he kind of, I suppose, brings a new kind of approach in many ways to the club. It's someone who has worked with this younger group and probably can challenge them a bit more, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just the amount of players that Barry knows of that, like, that age group, the younger age group, even the girls coming through, like, is incredible. Like, so, and he knows how to get the best out of them, because he's worked with a lot of them. So like, it's almost like a head start. Like, it's, we're trying to blood new players in, but in a way, like, it's not too difficult, because they've probably grown up this style of football, what Barry wants, how Barry trains. Like, they probably knew that more than me the first few weeks. Or any of us. Like, so I think we have a head start in that way, because there was obviously a lot of young players there, but it's how do we use them the best. And I think like in pre-season we're starting to see, like, again, you go back to your Ciaras and your Zoes, like, how we're getting the best out of them, like, and you could see it, how well they played, like. So as long as we can keep doing that, like, I think we're onto a winner there, like.
First game of the season is against Shamrock Rovers. Probably a nice way to kick off, because, on paper, 2 big clubs, from a fan's perspective, nice rivalry between the 2 clubs is probably a good one for you to kick off with.
Absolutely. And like, the way that Rovers are signed now in this off season, like, they, like, on paper, they're going to be going for the league. So like, what a test for us. Like, it's the best way to start. Like, if you can't get up for a game with Shamrock Rovers after the signings that they've had and what our project is about, like, then there's no point in being there. Like, like, what an incredible start like that we get to have at home as well. Like, like, we're really lucky. Like, we're going to be in the Cross playing one of the biggest games, and like, what more could you want? And it's a great way for us to show all the work we've put in in pre-season, like against one of the best teams we could possibly play against. Potentially, like when you look at what they've done in the off season, like it's just possibly one of the better ways that we could start. You know.
And do you think there'll be a good crowd there?
Yeah, I think so. Like I think there's like, you know, we kind of.
Do you feel the momentum? Like are people talking to you outside of here in the game and stuff?
Yeah, like even like I noticed now when I got announced, like even in work, people coming up to me, like in different departments, like coming up, like I seen you sign back with Cork City and stuff, like, and you know, people like even my friends going like, oh yeah, we can't wait to go out, you know. So like obviously now because I'm here again, I probably hear it more now. So definitely I do think like there is it's almost like a clean slate. Like let's you know, let's do it this year. And I think people are kind of buying into that as well. Like, you know, people that are going watching it as well. And again, like, go back to it, like the 19s was great for people to see, like, oh, that was the 19s coaching staff last year and look how well they did. Like, I think it was Shamrock Rovers finished ahead of them in that group. That was it. Like, look how well they did. They conceded so few goals. They scored loads. Like, played great football. That's the staff now.
They'll have the self-belief as well.
Exactly.
That if they were only second, why should we be, you know, why shouldn't we be competing at the top of the table again?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Just because we've gone up a age profile or whatever, it doesn't matter. They'll have self-belief.
Exactly. And again, like it's that like the staff and those players did that at that level. They're coming in to do it. We all want to do it as well. We all want to step up. And like, again, clearly we do not want to finish bottom of the league. Like, and it's that thing of like, it's all the same kind of objective. It's the same goal now. So, yeah, I think it is that fresh start almost. So I do think people will come in then, you know, and I think as the weeks go on, I think people will keep coming in then because they'll see like we're here for a long time, like, and we want to make sure that as the season goes on, you still see the hard work, you still see the quality. When we get into the final third, you still see the strong bench. Like, we're going to have a very strong bench. You know, like there's going to be a nice mix of like youth and there's experience there as well. And so I think people will stay coming then especially once they see like we keep building on those performances. They'll go, oh no, they mean business this year, like, and what they said at the start of the year and then in pre-season is true. And
there's a new kick-off time at 3:00, which is kind of a traditional time in many ways, but it's nice because it's rare to see a match at 3:00 in Turner's Cross. So it's something to look forward to for people as well, I think.
Yeah, especially, you know, people are travelling as well, like, because, you know,
like you mentioned West Cork there, like.
Yeah, West Cork, and then you've got people from like Tip and stuff like that. So even like that, like that'll probably help because you're not getting home as late, like, you know, as late. And even before, when the kickoffs were a bit earlier than that, I think we're really like 1 or 2 o'clock. I know it's an hour or two, but it does make a difference. Like, and I know that myself. I'm going to go do the Limerick Road, like, so. I think it'll help bring people in as well. And again, it's fresh. You know, we talk about these like fresh starts and stuff like that. So it's all a little bit different, and it's changing for the better. All these different things are changing for the better, which is a good thing.
And there's a lot more younger families kind of going to the matches now and stuff like that. And I think, especially if it's, I suppose, to get more girls into the game, it's important for families to even bring them, even if they're very small, I think, just to show them, isn't it? I would think.
Yeah, 100%. And even you'd notice that over in like the WSL, like if you're ever watching along, and myself and Anya, like we went over to the Barcelona-Chelsea game in Stamford Bridge last year, and like myself and my boyfriend went over to Chelsea Man City, and the amount of families that are there with their kids and like dads and their daughters and stuff like that, it's brilliant. And like, yeah, that's it. Like, you know, for me when I was younger, I saw my aunt playing Bandon.
And that's how he got into it.
Yeah,
and you have to see it to believe it, don't you?
Exactly, like, and that's how it starts. And I think especially Cork City has always been great of going over afterwards and signing like the autographs and taking the pictures and taking time and chatting away. Like, so that will make a difference, and like people will come again then because I got to get a picture with Eva Mangan, I want to go and see her play again, or I got a picture with Heidi Macken, I want to go, you know, those type of things. So like that will make a difference. So yeah, like we want to keep bringing in those young families because those are the girls in 10 years' time that are going to be playing, and we're all going to be watching them then, you know.
And I know Shauna and Ciara Mack and stuff were talking about the girls ask for weird things and stuff like that. They come up and they ask for go-go's and they be asking for everything. But I suppose that's part of a novelty of just kind of going to a match. They're seeing you in person. They get excited about everything, don't they?
Yeah, I got asked my glasses before, so I had to say no to that one.
Too far now.
I was like, no, I need them. They cost a bit too much. I don't think the optician's handing them out for free. But
unless there's an optician's going to sponsor glasses every week.
So yeah, they could have asked for anything and everything. But you know what? you don't ask, you'll never get it. But yeah, like sure, look, we'll always try and do what we can, but the glass is probably where we draw the line, all right. So
and how do you handle that in the pitch? Do you wear the goggles, or do you wear contacts?
Goggles, yeah. So my sports glasses, I'm wearing them the whole time. I'm a bit like funky, a bit weird about like touching my eyes.
Yes.
So I'm also fairly blind as well. So if one of them went out and I couldn't get it back in, like that would be me done.
And it does happen a lot to people, actually.
Yeah.
You notice that, yeah.
So that would be me done. So a bit of the Edgar Davis look, all right, sometimes.
Yeah.
But I got new ones now. The last ones were being held together by sellotape. So I've got new ones.
Style for the new season.
Exactly, yeah. So they're a bit classier looking now. So
makes you stand out anyway, doesn't it?
Oh, for sure, yeah. I have to wear black boots then because I can never wear the luminous ones then because I'd really stand out. That'd be a bit much. So I'm trying to blend in from the bottom half, and then the top half you see the glasses. I stand out there. So but yeah, so new glasses for the new season. So and yeah.
What are your goals for the season?
As a team or
for yourself individually?
Individually, just get back playing football for Cork City, and then just doing whatever. Like each week your role is going to be different. So whatever my role is in the week, making sure like I execute it to the best of my ability so that we can get 3 points. I think I'm at a stage of my career now. It's not like I need to do this, that or the other. Like I just want us to win games. So each week just coming in the best that I can, getting more minutes and doing whatever they need for the team. To be honest, that's the way I'm going to see it for myself at the moment.
And do you think the group is confident that she can kind of cause a few upsets this year?
Yeah, like if we didn't think we could, there'd probably be no point in being around. Yes. But I do think like we do believe that like we can really turn things around this year, and like it's going to be tough at times. Like there will be tough days. Like we have to accept that. But like there should be no match in a way, and I know I wouldn't go in fearing about it. Like if we do the work and we prep as we should during the week, we should believe that we can take points from teams in the league. And like look, there'll be tough days. There might be a red card someday and you're down to 10 or whatever, like that happens. But no, we do believe that we can really turn it around this year. And like the main thing is we need points on the board. So getting those points on the board, we do believe we can do that.
Have you any message for any supporters that are listening that have never been to one of the women's games?
Yeah, come out and you'll enjoy it. Like you'll enjoy the game. You'll enjoy seeing like this young group working hard for each other. Like again, if it's younger kids, like it's a great example of working hard, working as a team, helping each other out, and then seeing the top quality players. Like you get to see a bit of everything. So I'd be saying come out to Turner's Cross 3 o'clock on the Saturdays that we're there, and stick with us, and we'll prove what we're saying and the fact that we will turn it around. And I think that's a great thing to see as well, that we went through the tough patch and now you're going to see us come out of it. And that's, there's something good seeing that as well, like that, it's not all handed to you. Like you got out of the rough patch and you're doing a lot better now. That's going to be a great thing to see. So it's great for kids to go and see that. So it's a good example for young people and anyone as well.
A great example. And well, from all of us here, best of luck for the season ahead. We're looking forward to it. Hopefully maybe get off to a good start against Shamrock Rovers on Saturday.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Anyway, that's the plan. So yeah, hopefully.
Well, best of luck, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, she sounds very positive about the season ahead, doesn't she?
Yeah, good story as well. It's a nice story about coming through the academy and
being the first.
Being the first one, and now kind of going away, playing elsewhere and being back for a kind of a new era.
Yeah. So I wonder who was the first in the men's? How long?
The first to go the whole way through.
But yeah, I wonder who was that, I wonder.
Well, talking in recent years, from the first to represent us under 13s the whole way up to the first team, I think was Sam Bailey.
Okay.
Played a couple of games. He's gone to UCC now, played a couple of games in the last few seasons. I think he's the first player to play 13s, 15s, 17s, 19s, senior.
Yeah.
Could be wrong. I'll double check that. Jerry Desmond may be listening to this.
Yeah.
Jerry Desmond will have the answer.
Who was the first in? Who was the very first
academy player to feature? Yeah.
So she broke through, Kate, but she was also the very first person to actually sign the dotted line.
There, yeah.
Now, there must be records of that somewhere.
There has to be. Poor
old Jerry Harris had that somewhere, I'd imagine.
100%, yeah.
It was probably an under 17s team or something, or something like that.
It would have been, I'd imagine, yeah.
Because obviously we didn't have 15s and 13s and all that
that's kind of a recent development. That's why
17s. Then it went to then it started creating all the other teams as time went on. But yeah, it's an interesting one. But she'd always have that, which is brilliant.
Brilliant, yeah.
You know?
Brilliant. And she's won a trophy with us as well, which is
and you can see
a huge achievement.
You can see that she's loves the style that Barry plays.
Yeah.
And this togetherness.
Yeah.
He has this obviously togetherness, this kind of like, they'll come together and it doesn't matter who they're playing against, that they'll fight for each other. And I think she's obviously seen him with the under-19s last year and is bought into it.
Yeah. And the fact, that's the one thing, whatever about a new player coming in, Kate's familiar with Cork City and how, I suppose, things are done here. And like she said, she went to a lot of the 19s games, specifically seeing how Barry sets his team up and what he likes to do. So she kind of has the full picture of what they want to do this year, which is great for her, I suppose, coming back into a new but familiar team.
So before we look forward to this weekend, the double header at Turner's Cross, the academy, obviously, we're playing at the weekend.
Back on the pitch again last weekend. No game for the 20s on Saturday, but the women's under-17s had a 2-0 defeat away to Cove Ramblers. The 15s had a 3-2 win over Limerick. They actually came from behind to beat Limerick in Charleville. Liam O'Keefe, Horan Tajoa and Will Toomey with the goals in that. On Sunday then, the women's 23s had a 1-0 win over Waterford. Phoebe O'Shea scoring for City there. 17s had a big win away to Kerry. Nathaniel Mathembu, Dara Corcoran, Calvin O'Sullivan O'Shea, Donica Dingavan all scoring in that one. And then the 14s were also playing Kerry. That was up in Mayfield and they had a good win in that too. Jesse Ebo, Gavin O'Connell, Mako Simic, Jordan O'Keefe and Luke McManus on target in that one.
I spotted some of those results alright the other day, like good results.
Good weekend,
Good weekend for them. You know, speaking there of the academy, I spotted that one of our lads was playing for the Irish under-17s on goal or something.
Caleb Murray, yeah, Dan Murray's son.
Is that Dan's
That's
son?
Dan's son, yeah.
I didn't put 2 and 2 together at all.
So the son of a centre half has become a goalkeeper.
So he's a goalkeeper.
I don't know how that's happened. We've been saying it to us before. I don't know how that managed to happen. But Destiny O'Grady actually scored for the Ireland under-15s as well against Netherlands in a 3-2 loss. So good to see City represented on the international stage.
Because we've had a few lads recently, like
Holly O'Hagan in the women's side was away with the Ireland 17s as well. So
and Tom McGrath was there, and who recently signed a professional contract with a couple of other lads as well. Ike was there as well when he
was. Yeah.
So like it's good to see. Like
brilliant, yeah.
Great to see.
It's something that we always are proud of and proud to talk about and proud to see. So hopefully more of it throughout the year.
Another good thing to see there. I think you shared it the other day. I see the Premier League were doing a little video and Faker's brother gave us no shout out.
Quiveen said we were the biggest club in the country. Yeah, brilliant, wasn't it?
And they said,
he's right.
Is that an opinion or a fact? He said, no, it's a fact.
It's a fact. Absolutely, it is.
Fair play, Quiveen. Yeah, but it was nice to see that feature anyway, and to see Cork City being featured on the Premier League and millions of people seeing it.
See us get a mention, yeah. It's always good to see us mentioned anywhere.
Do you know, it doesn't matter who will. We said that, like, if someone is talking about us, it's better than not talking about us.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. Speaking of coverage on social media, did you see myself and Craig were in town last week with...
I saw that. I saw the
guard, having a bit of fun.
The guards and all about kicking the ball.
There's plenty more to come because we got so much footage. I think there
were some good touches.
We had 5 or 6 guards involved in total. We were in town for about 2 hours.
So you brought a little goal around for the people that haven't seen it. You brought a little goal, like a really tiny goal now. It's so small. And a football.
Dropped the goal in front of someone, threw the football at them and told them to score. We also did kind of a Keepy Uppies challenge where we tried to get people to do 10 Keepy Uppies. And if you did, you got free tickets to the next men's and women's games, which is Longford and Shamrock Rovers at the weekend. But good fun, good day out. It was myself and Craig Robinson, and we had Kim Forrest and Ciara O'Keefe from the women's 23s team kind of helping us out with carrying tickets and stuff around for us. So good fun, good bit of fun content as well that people are enjoying. And
it's a bit of a novelty as well, though. Like,
we bumped into a couple of our academy players on the men's side were just happened to be in town as well that we managed to rope into it. So good fun, something that we kind of want to do more regularly and get out and about and film with not just supporters at Turner's Cross. We want to do that too. You know, you've seen we did score predicting and stuff before.
Yeah.
Want to do some of that, but also just out and about around the city centre, getting random people who might not know much about Cork City Football Club and getting them involved.
That has been a bit of a trend online in terms of just kind of talking to people on the street, getting people to do kind of fun stuff. Yeah. Like you'll see other...
And it's all harmless fun as well. You're not annoying anybody.
No. And take it easy, say no if they didn't want to.
Absolutely, yeah. And there was a couple of people who, you saw in the video, ran away screaming from the ball or didn't want to do it, but that's all fun.
Maybe they have a phobia of balls or something.
Listen, that makes the video enjoyable as well.
Yeah, so they're not into football. Although in saying that, it was interesting there. I heard a singer on with News Talk there recently, and it's really interesting. I wonder, is there anyone actually that does anybody know somebody like this? So he's Gavin Friday, famous singer from like years and years ago, a friend of Bono and stuff. And they said this task on, I think it was on News Talk anyway. It could have been RT Radio 1. And it was to do something he's never done before. And he had never been to a football match, and he's in the 60s. Okay.
No way.
Okay. So never been. So when he was younger, he used to get kind of bullied by lads and they were kicking balls at him. So he'd never went to a match. And so he went to the game at the Aviva at the start of the season.
Both and
Pats.
Yeah.
And he said, no, the match itself wasn't the greatest, but he said he loved the atmosphere and he loved the razzmatazz of it and all of that. And he said, you know what? I'm looking forward to actually going to another game. And I was thinking, there's probably people like that have said, I'd never go to a game, I'll never do that, I'll never went to a football match.
Of course there are, yeah.
And it would be an interesting, again, social experiment.
To go find someone.
Find someone and video them beforehand, what you think, and find out afterwards.
Yeah, we have a couple of ideas like that, and match day kind of from other people's perspective is what we want to do as well. So like we've got big plans for the year, so hopefully now we can put those plans in motion and see some of those throughout the season.
Well, there's 2 options to go to matches this weekend, not just 1.
Yeah.
And actually, if you go to 1, you can go to 2, yeah?
1 ticket, 2 matches. So anyone who gets a ticket for the men's game on Friday night, you actually get a free ticket for the Shamrock Rovers game.
You pick them up
on Saturday,
stadium,
so we're going to have a collection point inside the ground. It's going to be around that area, where we have the club shop and the gazebo and stuff. Going to be a collection point there. So once you're in the ground, you can get your ticket. Obviously, that applies if you've got a season ticket already.
You can just go.
You obviously, you get one as well. I know there's always people will ask a question like that. Of course you do.
So literally anyone who comes in the gate basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, if you have your ticket and you're at the match on Friday, you get a ticket for the women's game on Saturday. So hopefully now we get to see some people at Turner's Cross on Saturday who wouldn't typically be at a women's game, and we get to see people experience that. Like Kate said, it's a brilliant bit of fun on a Saturday afternoon. The earlier kickoff time this year makes it a bit more accessible for people as well. So hopefully we get a good crowd.
And like we get a lot of young families going to the Cross on Friday nights, and maybe they're looking for another thing to do, on a Saturday.
And you know what? A women's game on Saturday, we spoke about it here before. It's different to a Friday night. The atmosphere is different. The game is different. Kind of just the vibe as a whole is different. The players are there meeting fans.
Yeah.
Speaking to every individual fan after the game. It's brilliant. It's fantastic for families and for women and girls that want to look at, not just women and girls, obviously men as well. Everybody can go to the game, but for those women and girls that want to play football and want to get into football, it's a brilliant environment to come to on a Saturday and
like Kate mentioned there, like she's been to the WSL in England, and in fairness, they've done an amazing job over there at building the game.
Yeah.
And it's become, like I suppose a much bigger entity than it was before. Like thousands of people going to matches every week. It's on the TV. It's lots of coverage around it. There's superstars being created, but that'll only happen if people support here as well.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's not kind of exclusively tied to here, but it is a sort of a global pyramid thing where football will build at your local level and will get bigger and bigger, and it'll grow around the world. Like it is growing. We see it. The Ireland women's national team get brilliant support as well, and that's starting to filter down into domestic football in Ireland.
They've obviously played 2 matches in Park Cueva over the last few years as well.
And hopefully many more to come as well.
So these are all things, and obviously Eva was in the squad and stuff before, and we obviously former players like Saoirse and Denise and stuff like that are doing well for the senior team as well. Like
it's brilliant, and it's encouraging and exciting for what the future of women's football has.
And even there, like I don't think it's something that we mentioned a few weeks ago, but like obviously Denise started played with Cork City's women's team, then went to the US and stuff, and now she's with Liverpool, so in the past there was kind of like young girls that were playing the sport didn't know where their future lied, but if you're successful you can go all the way to the top now.
There's a pathway there, and there's a pathway that's been walked down by many young footballers who started off in local teams in Ireland or the Women's League of Ireland, and
for supporters you don't know who you're going to witness. So like Kate mentioned there that Saoirse played around the final in 2017, and Saoirse, plays obviously with Celtic, but like has scored for the national team and is a regular player in this.
Do you know what? There's other players as well, not just players that are here now or have been here in the past, but there are players in the league who have been internationals or have even been internationals while they're here. Stephanie Roach, Anya O'Gorman, Karen Duggan, Rihanna Jarrett. There's a whole list of them there. Ruesha Littlejohn came back and was in the league for a little bit last year. So like there's big names involved in the league. Eva Mangan, like you said, has been in Ireland squads and hopefully will be again. So like it's growing, and it's grown massively from even when I first started at the club, however many years ago. Like it's grown massively and it continues to grow. And a lot of that as well, from our point of view, has been getting games at Turner's Cross. They were at Bishopstown for a long time, so being at the Cross is that little bit
nicer environment to go to.
Yeah, and
but people are used to it as well.
It's like a bit like everything. It's like us, putting the women's post on the men's account and stuff like that. The men's account, it's not the men's account, it's the club account. Do you know what I mean? It's the first team in the club. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's how it should be, and it's just exciting.
Yeah, so it's going to be a big game against Shamrock Rovers. But obviously the men played in on Friday night as well. So
Longford Town at home.
Longford Town, like so. Yeah, I suppose we'd be looking for a good crowd at that as well.
Hopefully, yeah. And as we mentioned, that ticket deal is available right up to the game. So ccfc.ie/tickets to get your tickets for it. And hopefully we see two big crowds. Any other things happening in the club at the moment? We've had a bit of work done in Bishopstown. So we might get into that now more maybe next week and finish off all the work and get a few pictures and videos up.
A bit of a makeover, like?
Yeah, you walk in the new door in Bishopstown, and there's a new door. New reception area. So yeah, all change in Bishopstown. Very exciting.
It's good though.
Looks really good. New couches, very comfortable. So we'll get into it more next week, but yeah, there's this change on the horizon, which is always good.
That's always good. And listen, sometimes what do they talk about? The extra 1%. If a player feels more at home or something like that, that can make little bits of difference as time goes on and can improve in performance, maybe morale. They sit down together, chat for a bit more.
And that's what it's all about, really.
That spending more time together, because obviously we know we have players in the first team as well that they're not from Cork. So
exactly,
they could be on loan here, or they're from up the country or whatever, and they're trying to settle in, and what you don't want them is to be homesick. You
want to have it welcoming and comfortable for everybody. So
we've heard enough of our own players. They talk about their time across the water in Scotland or in England when they were homesick and they came away from it or whatever. Those type of things, we don't want the other side of it. But so looking forward to a big weekend.
As we mentioned, 2 trips to the Cross. We hope to see everybody at both of them.
Yeah, and to cheer on the 2 Barry's teams.
2 Barry's, yeah. Might get confusing as the year goes on, but look, we'll roll with it.
And they're both Barry R's, so we'll have to just give them the full title.
Yeah, we'll get on with it. We'll do our best.
I just hope they have Barry's tea out there from at this stage. But so we're looking forward. I'm sure we'll be back. We'll be back before Patrick's Day, maybe. Yeah, we'll have to fit in an episode by Patrick's Day.
Yeah, we will. We'll be back.
And so we'll wish everyone a happy Patrick's Day next week.
That's next week's job.
That's next week.
See you at the Cross.